Hello again, everyone. So I am here today to attempt, and though I may fail at this, to do another body review. Now, to give some pre-warnings, first of all, there will be doll nudity, especially since I took off his undies that I forgot he even had on under his pants, and I don't feel like putting them back on. So there will be doll nudity. Also, this is my second ever body review, so I'm sorry in advance if this is just the worst. Coincidentally, my first body review was for the 60 centimeter version of this body. But yeah, I apologize in advance if this is just awful. Third, this is actually a hybrid. This is my Doll Zone Wing 2 head. His name is Rye, and yeah, the Doll Chateau Pierre head that came with this body, he's on a different one, and I was going to I thought about putting his head back on for this review, but then I remembered I'd have to switch the S hooks again because they have two different sized S hooks, if I can show you. Oh my god, I forgot how to take his head off. But if you can see, Rise is friggin' huge. And sorry for all the pastel dust in there, but his are friggin' huge, and the Doll Chateau one is far smaller than that. So I actually had to switch them because the Doll Chateau S hook was not keeping his noggin on. But hopefully this will help for like if you want to do a hybrid, because I know people do. But yes, let me try to get started with this review that's already off to a rollicking good start. But yeah, so he is of course a hybrid, but his head movement is fairly well. I will be hot glue swinging it though, because as it is, he can look down and up, and of course side to side. But to keep it a little more in place and maybe get some further movement, because he could look even further down if he had some more traction. I think it's because the neck hole is just enough bigger that it just needs just something in there to fill in the gap. I feel like that would improve head movement even more, but he can do the basics and they look natural and very well. I really like it. I was very happy to do this hybrid and so happy it worked out. And as you can see, now that he is in the nude, he doesn't look bobble-headed, at least not to me. Of course, if you're out there going, oh, you are mistaken, he's bobble-headed, he isn't, in my opinion, and his head is bigger than the Doll Chateau Pierre head. He has an 8-9 head. The Doll Chateau Pierre is a 7-8 head. And he also has bigger features and everything. In my opinion, it definitely does work. So if you want to try a different head on this body, it should work for you. Anyway, on to the actual body. I'll start with the arms, of course. I actually really love the arms. Now, I don't know if it's because of how tight he's strung or what, but he has very fantastic arm movement. I love it. He does have a peanut, which I will try to get close up, but he's so super white. But that's how the peanut looks. It's kind of, I like how natural it looks. It could, of course, look a little better, but in certain ways, like, I don't know, I really just enjoy it. And if you put it like this angle, it looks good. He can also hold his arm like this, which I like. I don't even know why I like this, but I do. And he can hold it fairly close together, as you can see. If you can see, since he's so blinding. Oh my god. He also can touch his face. And I don't usually have dolls do this because I don't want them to scratch their own face up like a crazy person, but he can do it. He also can put his arm all the way up. Ooh! If it would stay, it can stay. If you don't drop it like I just did. And, you know, do weird things like put his hand behind his head and whatnot. You just have to have patience with it. Now, if I had glue suede in here, it'd be perfect. But I have patience, so I just you know, can frame it up and everything. And it usually stays for the most part. it can pop back because of stringing and everything, but I'm not taking this boy apart to hot glue swing him. No way in hell. And I can't pull him apart enough to do it. Now, as for wrist movement, as you can see, he has a lot of it. So he can put his hand all the way back like that. He can put it all the way forward like that. And of course it can go, I believe it can go side to side. I actually haven't tried. It cannot. But it can go, of course, front and back very well. I really actually love that it can do that. I just love his arms in general. But of course, I love this whole body. Now, just like with the 60 centimeter body, he has a very slightly sculpted abs, but they're very nice. And he has hip bones and wide hips, which I love. And he also has no bottom torso joint. Now, I actually really like that with this particular aesthetic because I believe it would just interrupt this too much. But if you are a big fan of that and that will bother you, then unfortunately this body is not for you. I can't remember though if they add that in the later body, but I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing it. I remember seeing like every other joint added, but not that one. So I'm sorry if that's what you need in a body, but he does not have that. He also does not have a swivel joint here, which I don't mind for his body. I wish the girl body I have had it. The original 65 centimeter female body, I wish she had a swivel joint, but I don't mind him not having one. But oh well. Now he does though still have the chest joint, which I absolutely adore. So here's the movement for this. I will show you front and back first. So he can go back. Do, 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 do. Look how cute he is. Do, do. And then of course he can slouch a lot. I love his slouching. It's so cute. I just love slouching in general, so I'm very happy he can actually slouch. It's very nice. Now he also can do side to side, which I also really like. I find it cute. Probably because it has Rye's head on it, so I'm like, oh, you're so adorable. Now, as for the bottom part here, again, no swivel joint. And I also want to draw your attention to his huge ass. I love it. He has such a butt. It's so big. I love it. But yeah, so here's the back. Now, as for like sitting and everything, woo, there we go. He can sit very well. He sits actually perfectly. So there's not much needed to be said about that. He can sit, everything folds up just right so he can sit very well. You do not have to slouch him to sit. I know you have to do that for certain dolls. Like my doll shoes, you have to slouch him to sit. He also can sit and slouch, which I love. He also can sit and go back if you're looking for that particular look, but I usually am not. But yeah, so when he's sitting, he's very solid, which is great because you would be amazed at the amount of dolls I have that can't do something as simple as sitting. So yeah. And he, of course, just like he has double jointed elbows, has double jointed knees. So this joint is a little more obvious, but I can honestly say that both Doll Chateau and Doll Zone, they have like issues with the knee joints, but it's okay. In pants it looks fairly more natural than it does right now. But he can fold back and he can go on his knees if he needs to, which I don't really do a lot, but he can. And because his joints are so thin, you can actually spread out his feet and just set them up like this on a surface, which I really love. I love doing that with the 60 centimeter body, and I love you can do it with this one. But since he doesn't have the swivel joint, you can't really, turn his leg to do the cute little I can't remember the phrase for it, but you can't do that, unfortunately. But, so yeah, for his legs, there you go. I love them. Now, we're getting to the part where a lot of people were concerned. I was concerned when this body first came out, but I will tell you something very weird. These little spindly, excuse me, let's put you like this. You're too tall to get into the friggin' camera. These little spindly legs he has. You see those ankles? They're ridiculous, right? They're tiny. There's something weird about this body that I'm so glad to be able to tell you. Once you get him standing, he stands like a rock. And I don't understand how with these tiny, tiny little ankles here. But he really can just stand like a rock. I can actually leave him standing. Now, I don't, because I don't want to be that person. But he can do that. They are so tiny, though. And as for foot movement, just barely, as you can see. Sometimes they will pop out of the socket. Be very careful with his feet. He does it in his wrist too. It's because he's strung very, very tight. So because he's strung so tight, sometimes the joint will pop out a little bit because it's kind of kicky weirdly. So just straighten it up and just watch out for it. And if you have to, if it becomes too much of a problem, restring him. But otherwise, he is fine. And I think the reason why he stands so well on these ankles is because of the very little movement he has in the feet. I think because his feet can stay so still. Wow, I had a complete out of nowhere accent on that. Because it can stay so still, it helps keep him up very well. I'm not particularly sure what the secret is, but yeah, he can stand so well. It's ridiculous. He's one of the best standers I have, and that's really saying something. I don't get it. So can the girl doll, and actually my MSDs that have the extra joints, they can stand. Once you get them standing, they can stay. Because it's like everything's in the right place, and it just reacts together, and maybe that's what keeps them standing. I'm not sure. It's a mystery to me. But yeah, that is the body, the doll Chateau 70 centimeter boy body. Now, I absolutely love this body. Aesthetically, it's one of my favorites. In person, like even on camera now, it looks far thinner than I feel like it is in person. He's very solid. And he's a very heavy and solid guy. He's not flimsy like you would think looking at him. He's not fragile and delicate, at least not in my opinion. He has a very real presence in having him. And the only con I have for this body, and this actually goes for all my doll Chateau bodies, is that clothes are very weird to find for this body. Because everything is too big, and for some items, you know, I actually would like that for Rye to be too big. But things like pants and stuff, I wish there was a lot more tailored pants for this body. But there just is not. He does, though, fit typical 70 centimeter pants. They just will be a little loose here in the hips, and the legs will be swimming. But he does fit them. So, you know, if you're like, oh, what can I put on him? You can put that on him. He can fit, from my experimentation, he can fit 60 centimeter girl shirts, but they're too short in the arms, but he can fit them. If I ever customize something for this body, I would get like a 60 centimeter shirt with longer sleeves. And what else? I think, yeah, it's just clothes that are the con. I love everything else about this body. I think it's beautiful. I love how it's even strung. I love how it works together. I love how he slouches. I love that he has no lower joint. For this particular body, I do not miss this joint, as I said. So that may be a con for you, but it's not for me. But it can be a con, so keep that in mind. And then otherwise, love this body. And I hope this was helpful in any particular way. If it was not, or if you need any more information about his body, please let me know. I'll be glad to help. I only have this body, the Chateau 65 centimeter girl body, the girl and boy version of the MSD body with the extra joints but not the jointed hands, and not the super thin body. The one that the Chateau Queena came on and Douglas came on. So I have those bodies. I'm trying to see. I also have of course, the Chateau 60 centimeter boy body, but I did already do a review on that. But if you want to see a review of any of the other Chateau bodies I have with me, just let me know. I know they are, they can appear very strange, and you definitely want to know what you're getting and what you're buying. And, you know, I'd be glad to help. I also will say one thing, because I just gotta, they are worth their price. The reason why I mention that, is because sometimes from the pictures since they look so delicate and out there, whatever, you get a little worried, what am I getting for my money? But definitely worth the price, and they're beautiful, and I'm so glad Chateau exists. So yeah, I will stop gushing already and put some clothes on this boy. No idea what to put him back in, but I'll figure it out. But thank you so much if you watched this, and I really, really do hope it helped. This was requested, so I hope it helps them, but I also hope it helps in the future. Who knows? So thank you so much if you watched, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.